Hey there, Rebecca here, your Vibe Mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Wanted to chat with you today on weight loss and my journey towards where I'm at today. And I did a post on Facebook, so if you want to check that out, there's more of a story around sort of everything that I experienced in my childhood. But essentially, what I learned very early on was that the world was not accepting of how I felt, how I needed to operate, the things that I needed or wanted from the world, and that manifested through a struggle with my weight. Where, as a very young child, having a minister who essentially, the underlying theme of every day was you're a sinner and you should feel guilt and you should feel shame and you should repent and you're going to hell, and so there was just this general barrage of something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you. And I really wanted to be a dancer. I loved being happy and being joyful and expressing physically. And I didn't even have exposure to secular music or a lot of movies, although my mom would sneak us in for the cartoons, but we weren't allowed to watch TV. And so it's very clear to me now that it was a very innate desire to dance and to move. I wanted to be a backup dancer. I maybe saw one music video in my first 15 years of life. And so it was, very, very much a part of me. And that was wrong. There was something wrong with me for wanting to dance. How dare I ask to take money for dance lessons when we should be giving that to the church? And so, point being, just that the message was your needs are not valid, right? The things you want are bad. There's something wrong with you for wanting or needing. And so, my coping mechanism as a young child became food. And like I said, I wasn't allowed to go to see movies. We weren't allowed to have friends outside of the church. There was no TV. There was no secular music. There was no exposure to the outside world. We literally lived next to the church and we would go from our house to the church and back, and not even down the block to play with friends. I remember at one point we had some friends on the block. We moved around a lot too. So on that block for a year or so. And that was, the best thing in the whole entire world. And I love giving that to my kids now. Um, but really, point being that all I had was what was available to me in my home, and even then there was no outlet to the external world from within the home. And so food became my comfort, my entertainment, and it wasn't too terribly excessive. Although, Mom, I love you. The cans of soup mixed with the ground beef and noodles, the variety just wasn't there, and probably not the healthiest either. But oranges, I really loved oranges, and yet, you're only supposed to have one. And of course, anybody knows an orange has like 60 calories, so that is not going to sustain you. So I just remember feeling like I had to stuff down my emotions. I had to stuff down my feelings. And so eating became a stuffing mechanism as well as entertainment. It was sort of the outlet to the small amount of enjoyment that I had available to me. And then I reached a point where I became a chubby teenager. And of course, I got crap for that. Why are you so fat? You're eating too much food. It's like, you can't win for anything. And of course, that didn't last very long. And so then, the body dysmorphia set in, and, I shouldn't eat, right? And so then the pendulum swung to the other side. And, there were experiences in life where it just, the general message was everything that you do is wrong. And so then, of course, that seesaw just was never ending. I was too fat, too skinny, eating too much, not eating enough. And so this general unhealthy relationship with food was obviously formed. And I struggled with that all throughout my life, even in my 20s, and probably up until about 27, I really struggled with that. And that was when I first met the therapist who told me my needs were valid. And I was, just in shock and awe, like, you gotta be kidding me. I knew it all along. But that was just kind of a click for me. It was a moment of, there are other methods for nurturing myself. There are other ways to meet my needs. And that is when the beginning of my relationship with food changed, where I began to eat because I needed to nourish my body. I began to eat because I wanted to love on my body. I began to eat because I started running and I wanted to get stronger, not necessarily skinny or fix, my body, but I wanted to get stronger. I was doing positive things for my body. And yet there was still this very much back and forth. And I was vegetarian, vegan, on and off many, many times. Still just trying to understand my relationship with food, my relationship with my body. Couldn't understand why it seemed so many people could just eat, a 3 square meal 3 times a day and not gain weight. That almost like looking at food would make me gain weight. And generally, now that I'm in a healthy place, I see I actually have a very good metabolism, not particularly fast or slow, just very neutral and normal and healthy. But I couldn't understand why it didn't seem that my body processed food the way everyone else did. And there was a lot of emotion still being held onto in my body. There was a lot of trauma and a lot of unprocessed childhood experiences that were still hanging on. And I started to realize, as I would release and process these things, as I would heal a trauma, I would heal a trigger, I would do some psychological work with getting these things out of my body, whether it's breath work or meditation or inner child work, that piece by piece I would lose a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And then looking back, I can be grateful for this experience. Then I got into another narcissistic relationship. And of course, the very first thing that happened was I started to gain weight. Gosh darn it, wouldn't you believe it? I saw those red flags, and I was not willing to acknowledge the fact that this relationship was not healthy and that I should leave. And I was holding on to something that was not serving me. And as I held on to it, I abandoned myself. I created new wounds. I created new lower emotions. I created new um, trauma in the body, new blocks to be processed, and I just kept holding on to things and holding on to things and holding on to things. And of course, when we're not processing, we're not releasing, then the body is holding on to all of this. We have a lot of emotion that we're trying to stuff down, right? We either stuff it with food or shopping or social media or any other addiction that can help us numb the pain, help us distract from what we're not wanting to face. And the weight just kept coming. And then it just kept coming. Then I had 2 kids. Add that to the mix. And then we have hormonal issues to deal with, and alcohol became my go-to numbing mechanism. And so that's throwing the hormones out of whack even more, and throwing the digestive system out of whack even more. And it wasn't until I finally reached that place where I was willing to let go of what was not serving me and let go of what I knew was not good for me, what I knew my soul was telling me was not right for me. And I had to come to a full place of decision. Not just like, I think I kind of want to get out, which I did, the oscillation. If you follow any of my personal vlog updates, you'll hear the story of going back and forth and back and forth. But when I finally firmly stepped all the way into the decision of that's it, I'm letting go of everything that no longer serves me, the weight instantly. I mean, no joke, within 6 weeks I lost like 20 pounds, and not in an unhealthy deprivation way. It was when I made the commitment to leave the relationship behind. I left the corporate job that was absolutely killing me, and I started to ask the questions, what do you need right now? How do I nourish you right now? How do I love on you? How do we make today fun? How do I step into my life's purpose? How do I listen? listen to my guidance, listen to my heart, listen to my soul. And when I started doing that, one, I was having fun. I was having so much fun that there's no room for all those stress hormones and all those things that cause us to hold on to the weight. But I was letting go of everything that was not serving me, and I was embracing myself. I was embracing my needs. My joy and my bliss was creating positive hormones. And I will couple this because I don't think it's all or one, where a healthy food choice was also part of that I had gone through many years of being vegetarian, eating low fat, eating high carb, eating high protein, and almost only animal fats, that I couldn't figure out that this food thing was not quite working for me. And the first time it started to click was when I did a juice fast. I did 20 days of just pure orange juice, and that was the first 10 pounds. So really, if you count that, I've lost 30 pounds in the last year, since last December 2020. um, that first 10 pounds, I kind of hit a roadblock because I went back to the relationship and the job and all of that after that juice fast. But that juice fast was really the first peek into the food piece of it, where I realized that fruit sugar is not bad. How do you lose 20 pounds on nothing but orange juice? Or I'm sorry, 10 pounds on nothing but orange juice. And I think what it was I lost 20 and then I gained back 10. So that was the original 10 and then another 20 since September of 2021. So for a total of 30 within that 12, 13 months time frame. So anyways, the trick here is what I want to communicate is, one, letting go of all of the stuff that in life that doesn't serve us. When we start to listen to our guidance, we start to follow our intuition, we're living our life's purpose, we're letting go of relationships that don't serve us and jobs that don't serve us, and we are truly trusting in full faith that we will be cared for and guided. That's one. And then the food piece. I can promise you this, I eat tons of bananas, tons of oranges, I have like a melon a day, cucumbers, avocados, almonds. Our bodies are designed for watery foods. So fruits and watery vegetables, not like starving ourselves with spinach salads all day, but yummy, yummy, awesome berries and mangoes and peaches and shakes. I am not hungry. I am not depriving myself in any way. I'm listening to my body, and I'm drinking tons of tea, lots of water. So water through tea. But really, since September of 2020, it really was the end of September. So really the start of October, October through mid-December, I literally had dropped 20 pounds. And there was an element of carb cycling, sort of, where I would eat primarily high fat foods one day, so lots of avocados and nuts and seeds. And then actually, I would do that 2 days. And then the third day, I would really bulk up on carbs, so lots of bananas and cherries and berries and melons, and then go back to two days of high fat, 1 day of fruit, 2 days high fat, 1 day fruit. And I can't claim that it was purely just the emotional release, but that happened at the same time that I was carb cycling on fruits and high watery vegetables. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, skin clarity, weight drop, it's just amazing. So I really think that there's a huge component of emotional release, because when we are not listening, we are numbing and we're ignoring and we're pretending not to see the issues that we don't want to face. And when we're doing that, we're also not able to hear our body, we're not able to listen, and we're not able to eat intuitively. And so when you couple the super clarity, the extreme attention to it's like living intuitively, but in the micro moments of your life, in the what should I eat now? What should I drink now? Where should I go now? Should I take a walk now? Right? In the now, in the now, in the now, in the now, in the micro moments of life, you couple that with the healthy food choices of fruits and watery vegetables, and it's like a miracle. It really is. And so I would be remiss if I didn't share that with you, because stepping into your life purpose, living your best life, raising your vibration, everything that I'm talking about, it's right, it's all one. Everything's connected. We have to be healthy, whole, and complete in every way, which includes the body. And I feel very strongly about nutrition and exercise. I will say also that I did shift from primarily yogic exercise to a body pump class, which doesn't sound all that spiritual, but really lifting weights is it's been really incredible for me because in doing something fun, I'm actually doing it to music. It's choreography, which is kind of like dancing, right? And I'm lifting weights but taking a break, right? So heavy things take a break, heavy things take a break. So again, to me it's more balanced. It's not just stretching like yoga does, but I still incorporate that. It's just more balanced. So I care very much about helping you all step into your highest potential and reaching your gifts and living your life purpose, because the world needs you in your highest manifestation. And so being healthy and being whole and complete is part of that. And so might be mixing in some more of the tips and tricks around food and exercise. And who knows, maybe I'll take you to a body pump class one of these days so you can see how much fun it is. But let me know if you want to know more around fruit recipes for like dinner, or if you want some shake recipes, you want to see what I do for the kids here, let me know. I would love to hear from you what kind of content you want to hear or you want to see. So let me know if you like this, and I will share more. So with that, I will head out for today and see you on the next video. If you want to work together, you need any help in surrendering and releasing this old life and moving from where you are to where you want to go, just let me know. I've got coaching as well as a course that I can offer you in support. So I love you very much, and I will talk to you on the next video. Take care. Namaste, friends.